Following WrestleMania 39, the WWE fan base was left dazed and confused. No, not just because of Cody's loss to Roman Reigns in the main event, but also because of the major announcement following the show. WWE, after months of looking for somebody to buy it, has finally found that very person with a plan to help grow the company to new heights. That company that now owns WWE is none other than Endeavor, a very much respected name in the entertainment field. But that's not even the biggest story to come out of this, as Endeavor have purchased not only the WWE, but perhaps their biggest competitor in history, the UFC, as the two have begun a merger under the umbrella of Endeavor. For the fans of both MMA and pro wrestling, this was a major announcement. However, this announcement is also surrounded in controversy, as both Vince McMahon and Dana White, the two heads of WWE and UFC respectively, have been involved in some major reports that don't show either man in the best of light. For wrestling fans, they've had to watch it discussed, as several women have shared their stories of Vince sexually assaulting them and paying them hush money under the table. For MMA fans, they have seen the recent video that's emerged of Dana slapping his wife at a New Year's Eve party after the couple had been drinking and arguing throughout the evening. And while it may seem like these two incidents would push away potential buyers, it's actually been quite the opposite. While Dana's been taking care of his personal business at home, Vince's disastrous behavior has been brought more into the light as a new team has replaced him in his duties as head of the company. His daughter Stephanie and CEO Nick Khan have quickly taken executive control of the company, with them running it as co-CEOs. And once they did, rumors started bubbling up about WWE now officially being available for purchase. And while several companies and even countries have tried to talk to those at WWE, it seems as though they've finally made their decision. For a combined $12 billion, the WWE have partnered up with the UFC to enter a new era of their respective companies under Endeavor. But that begs the question, what exactly is Endeavor? Well, in its simplest terms, Endeavor is a talent agency that represents countless people in film, television, music, theater, and more. They even represent those in major sporting organizations such as the NFL and NHL. So, they specialize in handling the growth of many companies, as well as the growth of those working under them, such as different celebrities and, in this case, the many athletes in UFC and WWE. So what exactly does this mean for fans of both promotions? Well, for those strictly interested in the in-ring side of things, not a whole lot. For the most part, it's business as usual for both UFC and WWE. However, because of this merger, this means a whole lot for many of the fighters working for each brand. For starters, with the talent now having more access to each promotion, that there's a higher probability for some cross-pollination between the fighters and wherever they want to go. If someone like Ronda Rousey wants to head back to the UFC for a quick fight, then it's now easier than ever for her to do so. Or, if Conor McGregor wants to try out a match at WrestleMania, then it's now easier for him to do it more than ever before. What Endeavor does is it handles all of their talent as one giant pool, able to easily position whoever they want, wherever they want. If the UFC and WWE want Brock Lesnar to fight one last time in the octagon, they can come to an agreement under the umbrella of Endeavor. Behind the scenes as well, this means that both the UFC and the WWE now have access to each other's companies. This means that, for instance, the UFC can now use some of WWE's hired personnel for their own uses. While the UFC is very much known for being a combat sporting event, they still understand the power of a good promo. That's why people like Chael Sonnen have become mega stars, because of their mic work. So, if the UFC can borrow some of WWE's trainers to help boost the charisma of some of their fighters, then it will only help make the UFC that much more fun for both fans and fighters. And ultimately, the UFC will make more money because of this training. But UFC aren't the only ones benefiting from this. You see, the UFC has actually been working with Endeavor for many years, and as such, their company has grown incredibly. In the last year, the UFC has seen its revenue grow by 20%, with it raking in $1.3 billion through Endeavor's assistance in marketing, celebrity involvement, and more. And while WWE is a pretty popular product all things considered, they are certainly not anywhere near the level of UFC. So, with the help of Endeavor and this new partnership, perhaps they'll be able to grow just as well as the UFC. Overall, this merger is a massive deal if you're a fan of MMA and pro wrestling. Both industries could grow massively, with both the UFC and WWE being the top companies of their respective genres in entertainment. So, if WWE were perhaps to double its audience, then perhaps those new fans would start to find other promotions like AEW to feed this new love of pro wrestling. So in the end, this growth benefits everyone involved, from the talent to the backstage producers, and through the domino effect, the entire industry. But if you want to help us grow to new heights, as Endeavor will seemingly do for the WWE, then why not give us a like? We'd love to know your thoughts about this new juggernaut in sports entertainment in the comments below, as well as what you hope to see with this partnership moving forward. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified of all of our pro wrestling content. And, of course, have a good day.